Morning, good afternoon, good evening. We are live, and this is fabulous. This is Angela, and we're doing a review of Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. And I finished. I guess I was not a fan. I can't say that I hated it. But I'm going to tell you what I think the best thing was. Hey, welcome on. This picture here in the back of my book, I think that's one of the best things. I don't know what it was. Who took this picture? Madeline Whitehead? Oh, maybe his wife or his sister or something took it. I think that was one of the best things. I liked his attitude in the picture, how he was kind of slanted over to the side. I liked that he had locks. I liked that he looks unambiguously of African descent. So I finished the book probably about a week ago, and it was okay. I did not love it. But what I do know is that I finished it, even though my book club was supposed to be on the 17th, it was moved to the 24th. I didn't feel like, oh, well, at least I don't have to read that and stop reading. I kept reading, kept reading, kept reading. So I think that what that means, and I'm not exactly sure, I'm not clear, is that maybe I really liked the main character Cora, or maybe I got attached to the main character Cora, and I wanted to see what happened. I think I liked Cora. I think I did like the fact that there were like distinct situations that Cora was in. So I think I enjoyed that part of it. I like that there was a conversation, sort of an ongoing conversation about what constitutes freedom. You know, as having your patch of land, your little patch of land while you're enslaved. Is that freedom? Is being, in a hole for a year? Is that freedom? Is being on free land but afraid of people getting at you? Is that freedom? Like, what is freedom? Being free and being able to work, but being medically experimented on, is that freedom? So I liked sort of the exploration of the concept of freedom, and I like to see that sort of play out, because I thought it raised some questions, and I don't know that there is an answer. And also, I don't think that freedom is static. I think what might feel like freedom for you today may not feel like freedom for you tomorrow. So this book was speculative fiction or fantasy, and I saw people put it in the same category as Toni Morrison. Is she the one who wrote Beloved? In The Bluest Eye, and also the man who wrote 100 Years of Solitude. Now, I have read 100 Years of Solitude. He says that he took that from 100 to 10 to 3, and then he made this book. I think I read that someplace. I did not care for 100 Years of Solitude. I didn't care for it. I couldn't follow it. I didn't understand it. I didn't appreciate it. But Toni Morrison's work, on the other hand, there's like, to me, I guess what they're considering speculative fiction or fantasy or whatever, I just experience as people's spiritual and emotional experience reflected in, I feel like there are some things that we experience that you can't really put into words, and it's hard to share certain experiences, and so they might seem like fantastical and whimsical or something. And so in the context of a Toni Morrison, I like that aspect of her work. In the context of this book, I did not like the fact that the Underground Railroad was literally an underground railroad. I just read a review where a white woman said, as a 60-year-old white woman who doesn't know anything, now I know about something. And it was almost like, from reading her review, I'm like, I think that she, like Miss Portia on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she think that the Underground Railroad was an actual railroad. So the mix of the speculative fiction or fantasy or whatever you want to call it with the actual history, I didn't appreciate. Like, I think that you can take historical fiction and, using historical facts, create something that's creative. But I just kind of felt like the mesh and the mixing of the history, the actual real history, and the unactual fake history, I didn't find that I was able to appreciate it really well. And I think those are like all of the notes that I have on it. Did anybody in here read the book? Are you gonna read the book? And I think that I kind of felt like I did appreciate the fact that the main character continued to run and continued to fight. I always, love a story of people who fight. Yeah, it was okay. I'm glad it's over. I don't think like the book that I read before this, I can't Homecoming, I can't remember the title, but I keep referring back to that. No, but I want to read it. I keep thinking about that book, like, like, oh, like in that book it said this, and oh, and that, like in Homegoing or Homecoming or whatever, this or that, like I can tell that it's like more woven into me than this book. I don't think that I've really thought about it except to be like, oh yeah, we do have book club on this Saturday, I don't know if I'm going, and to ask if my mother is going to read it for the other book club. So I don't think I'm a fan. Maybe after book club I will be a fan. I know one book club I used to have, it was interesting to hear other people's perspectives because it gave me a different perspective from mine, and there were some things that I came to appreciate. The other thing is not about this book in particular, but about the way that people talk about this book. They're like, Cora was an escaped slave who blah, 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 blah. And that always gets on my nerves because I feel like if she escaped, she was no longer enslaved. So why don't we refer to her as a person instead of a slave? And even, I use enslaved, but they say Cora is a slave. I would like it to say Cora is enslaved on a cotton plantation. Life is hell for all of the folks enslaved on the plantation. But I can't stand when they ain't even enslaved and the people are still I shouldn't say the people, because I think that, I probably don't do it anymore. I don't know, but I try not to. That just really, really gets on my nerves. Yeah, I didn't love it. And, I did get through it. I don't know I guess I wouldn't recommend it. I didn't hate it. I can't say I hated this about it and I hated that about it. There were a couple things that I didn't appreciate or enjoy about it. Now, I love me some, The Bluest Eye. That's Toni Morrison, right? I love her work in the way you feel like you're like in a daze and in a space, but I didn't feel like that with his. Or the way you feel like you're in somebody's worldview, or but yeah, that's it. That's all I got. When you read it, let me know what you think. Oh gee, purple it's not Purple Gang. I want to make you the Purple Gang because there was a Purple Gang here. But yeah, once you read it, let me know what you think. I done pulled out again The Debt by Randall. Is it Randall Robinson? Now I can't even remember who it's by, but that has been on my list of books to read. So I've read 2 or 3 books since I started reading that book. So I'm just committing to you. Black love, sis. I'm committing to you, and inspired by Yappa Yappa and this whole, I guess your platform is reparations, and I've been wanting to read The Debt, but. So anyway, I'm committing. I'm reading The Debt. I'm going, because I read his fiction. He had a piece of fiction called Makeda, I think it was, and I really enjoyed it. And I still think about aspects of that book now. So I'm working on The Debt. I'm working on The Debt, and I'm going to enjoy it so much. But that's what I got. Did you read Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad, Yappa Yappa? Are you planning to read it? Do you want to read it? Or whoever else is in the chat? I know OG says she's planning to read it. I haven't read The Debt yet. I have not read it yet. I will. Okay. Well, that's what I got on it. I wanted to go ahead and do this commentary on it because I'm trying to do better about tracking and paying attention to what I'm reading and keeping it going. So, it's been, like I said at the beginning, it's been a week. So I figured I'm not going to get more excited as time goes on about this book. I'm going to get less excited as time goes on about this book. Although I do have a book club or 2 book clubs coming up. But this was the book, Colson Whitehead's The Underground Railroad. I guess I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. that's what I got. Thanks for coming in today. Today is the best day ever. It's a great day to read something wonderful. Or maybe this book is wonderful to you. I don't know. So when you read it, if you read it, come back and let us know what you think. But that's all. That's it. That's it. That's it. Goodbye. 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 Today is the best day ever. Black love. Peace. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be